You're listening to the One Step Deeper podcast with your host, Jimmy Moore and Brittany Davis. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com.
I laid down for a nap, and I'm like, I just kind of woke up like 10 minutes ago. So I've got that like grogginess of where you wake up from a nap and you're just kind of like, where am I? What time is it?
Wake up. I got so much excitement going on. Come on.
Yes, you do. You have been so adorable watching all the excitement on your stories and all the everything in your voice talking about stuff that's happening. And yes, we're in a new year now. And so it's the time of the year that people are excited about stuff. So if you're watching this today and you're still on some New Year's resolution, congratulations. But don't give that shit up. You're just getting started. So it's not yet your time to give up your dreams of being what you want to be. I know Miss Fang here ain't a fan of New Year's resolutions, but you are a fan of applying the lesson of yet and not letting yet pass you by. I'm real excited to talk about what we're going to talk about here today.
Oh, me too. I've just kind of been, like I do, preparing a little bit. Not too much. I don't like to prepare too much. I like the spontaneity that we bring, but just a little bit, just thinking about the topic. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get into this one.
So guys, here in episode 50, the power of yet, we'll just shorten it. We made a little fancy title. The immensely, whatever we put down there, but the power of yet is what we're going to talk about. And I think there's just so much hope in yet that we want to kind of impart that on you here today. OneStepDeeperPodcast.com is the website. Go check us out there. You can see all the past episodes. You can listen to them. You get all the full show notes. We don't make it hard. Go check us out, OneStepDeeperPodcast.com. We also air these on Sundays. This is where they debut. If you are a fan of OSD, go check us out on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time over on YouTube. That's where you can watch the video. The very first place we post it is when it debuts on YouTube. We also put it up at the same time on Sundays at 4 p.m. over on Instagram video as well as on Facebook. Just look up One Step Deeper. You will find the show. We also are a traditional podcast if you want to watch us on Mondays. Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Alexa is where you can access us there. We do love getting those out there for you guys to listen to. And then you can leave us a review. If you like what you hear, go leave us a review. We got lots of plans for this show. We don't like dip in and dip out and ghost you for a while like a lot of podcasts. We're pretty consistent once a week and bringing you some really hot and heavy stuff. And don't forget, it's coming soon. The One Step Deeper Journal, The Foundations. We're still hot and heavy in the very final stages of all this. So bear with us. Promise you, as soon as it's available, that we know when it will be available, we will let you guys know. It will be available on Amazon and wherever books are sold. So we'll let you know when that comes. But One Step Deeper Journal, The Foundations, is almost here. But Miss Brittany.
Yes.
The power of yet. Let's stick with the book for a moment.
Yeah.
That is an example of the power of yet, because you were telling a story that on your stories as of today, when we're recording, you said, I've always wanted to write a book, and it's always been something I've wanted to do. And it's not yet. And there's power in waiting for the right timing for things, is it not?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I remember just recently telling you that I really hadn't told anybody. Wildman knows. But, like, nobody but Wildman had known that I had attempted to write several books before. And they always came from a different angle. But they always had something to do with my childhood. They all did, but from a different angle. And I would get several chapters in. I think the furthest I ever got was about 6 to 7 chapters in, maybe like 100 to 150 pages, and just stopped, And it was, like you said, I never like gave up and like, this is it. I'm never going to be able to do this. It was always like, this isn't the one. And every time that I wrote, I just saw it as, oh, cool, this was an opportunity. And even though nobody else but me ever saw them, like literally nobody but me, it gave me the practice that I needed to. And I always seem to use that word. This is awesome. This feels great, but it's not time for this yet. And I think that drove me to where I am with this book today. Like, there's so much yet that now that it is, I'm just like, wait a minute, no more yet. This is cool. This is cool. But I've used that word so many times over and over and over again that it's not time for this yet. It's not meant for me right now, that, it'll come later. But it gives you just so much hope. That word, there's just so much hope in the word yet. Changing the one little sentence and comma yet is so empowering.
Because yet means it's happening someday.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of yet rather than no, or rather than won't. I feel like a lot of people say, well, I haven't been able to write a book. And if you could say, I haven't been able to write a book yet, it gives that little oomph of it's gonna happen. And it's like, I think sometimes people don't like yet, because yet it leads to a 4-letter word they don't want to hear, called wait. And wait is a weighty word, all pun intended. Wait is a weighty word, where people just don't want to WAIT because they want it now. It's part of our culture. Our culture has kind of hammered in us, well, if you want something, you go after it right now, and it must happen right now. Heck, I'm going through that right now. I'm in the dating scene again, and I'm having to play all the games of going through all the stuff, and it's like, not yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
I believe it will happen when it is yet.
When it is yet, yeah.
Not.
But achieving anything and being successful at anything is extremely rare that it's a first time thing. Like someone who becomes, an NBA player, they didn't just pick up a ball one day and poof, they're professional. They're great.
Unless your name is LeBron James and you just have lots of natural gifts.
It's extremely rare, and there's always work, and there's always a yet, and there always is. I think about the journey to get to where I am right here with you on this podcast, and how many things in life I could have said no. I remember telling you this story. Guys, I have attempted to be entrepreneurial spirit for years. I mean, I can remember back in high school, like having just thoughts of like wanting to be an entrepreneur and doing something, working for myself and doing something for me. I remember it as soon as that. And it's like, and I actually have gotten backlash from a lot of people in my family who are like, oh, that's just Brittany trying something new. But they never saw what was actually going on. I was just like working so hard at this, and I was like, that's not it. It doesn't mean that I quit altogether and I don't do anything. I was just like, that's not the thing. And then I would go to this thing over here and I would give it my absolute all. And it's along the same line, it was like, there was so much power in, this isn't it. Keep going. And I mean, even down to keto, like I had to do what I did with that diet, with that lifestyle, and with that page and with that coaching to get me to where I am right now, because I wouldn't have met you had I not been doing that. And so I believe in like this orchestration that has happened to get me here. But had I given up along any of those routes and didn't add that comma yet, I wouldn't be here where I am. And like you and I have had so many conversations of what is to come. What is the yet for OSD? And like, guys, I don't know if I'm ready. So I'm ready. I don't know if y'all are ready.
The fun part of yet, though, is it's just the idea that you do try and you do maybe not succeed. The whole fact that your family made fun of you because you were always doing things. Like every successful entrepreneur will tell you, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, succeed. Yes. Whoa. Yeah. And then everybody comes out of the woodwork. Oh, we knew, and we believed in you all along. We knew it was going to happen. Yeah, go bite yourselves.
Yeah. So for me, when I was thinking about the power of yet, I was also thinking how this goes hand in hand with fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So adding that one word to the end of a sentence immediately puts you in growth mindset. It immediately propels you. What?
It has to.
Yeah, it has to. It just propels you into growth. When you go from, I'm not good at this. That's a fixed mindset of, I'm not good at this. I'll never be good at this. That says fixed. All you have to do is add comma, yet, and it immediately propels you into, oh, I'm not good at this yet. I haven't figured this out yet, which gives you this inner thing of, but I'm going to.
Guys, listen to what she's saying, because this is so critical. By the way, number one, I hope you never tell yourself a declarative statement like, I'm not good at this. I know people do. Yeah. I'm not very good at this. It's like you're telling yourself what you want to be, whether you say, I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at this yet.
Yes.
You're telling yourself literally the message that will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you tell yourself, I'm not good at this, guess what the brain does? Hey, dumbass, you're not good at this, so why even try? I have an entry in the journal on this very topic. I'm recalling, I forget which day it is, but one of the journal entries that I wrote was something along this line of, when you tell yourself things, it's basically going to be what you believe, because that's the message you're sending your brain. But if you add that word yet, it flips it right around.
Yeah, let's do what I do. Let's go tough love. The messages that you heard as a child that now play over and over and over in your head that are negative become who you are, right? Because you hear them. And that's what we do on this show. We try to beat down those things that we were told, those, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't be this, you can't be that. And we try to break those things, right? But when we say things like, I can't, or I won't, or I will never, we're setting ourselves up. We are repeating the pattern that was given to us. Now, there's understanding there. There's grace that we can give ourselves of understanding that these words that I'm telling myself didn't come from me. They came from back here. They came from this person that set me up to make me believe this about myself. But just as you said, what you repeatedly tell yourself, what you repeatedly think becomes the truth. And so if you think on positive things, chances are you're going to lean that way. Even if something negative comes your way, you're going to bounce back quicker. But so when you're in that fixed mindset, it's harder to get out of it. But if you stay in that growth mindset and add that yet after anything, you begin to believe that. And so I still have my down moments where I'm just like, holy crap, what am I doing? How am I podcasting and writing a book? And it feels weird and it feels odd because I've never done it before. Because all these people back here told me that you can't, you won't, you can't succeed. It's stupid to do that. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You can't do that. Oh my gosh, the things that I've heard. And that you have to be careful to not pick those up and let them become part of your brain. You have to be very careful what you let hear. Because like I said, what you repeatedly think on, and those thoughts become your actions. Those actions become who you are. And so if your whole life you have told yourself, or somebody told you, you will never. Jimmy, for example, what was it that teacher had said to you about English?
8th grade teacher. I was the one that won the poetry contest in middle school. It was advanced English class and and made all A's. And she, at the end of the semester, said, you're going to remedial English in high school because you will never amount to anything when it comes to writing, speaking, or anything having to do with the English language. She basically tried to discourage me. She was just an old hag. I think she was God's girlfriend at the time, something like that. But she was so old. So, and then I get to high school, and the Miss Hune, I will never forget Miss Hune. She was a sweet woman. And I was in the remedial English class and running circles around everybody because she was like, so who wants to talk about the literature today? And I'm sitting there going, does nobody read the assignment? And she finally put me in advanced English. But yeah, the old hag wanted me to say not yet. But the reality said, oh, your yet is here. Your yet has arrived.
Yeah. So going back, yet is such an empowering word. It gives you that motivation, that drive, that there is a destination to get to. You know, like when you don't have yet and you're just like, I'm not good at this. it's such a declarative sentence that, okay, what are you going to do with it though? You know, like I think about right now, I'm not going to lie. Currently, I have zero ability to do a pull-up in the gym. Zero ability currently. But I'm working towards it. And so right now, literally all I can do is just hold my arms on the bar and just hang. That's all I can do. But you know what? It's better than standing on the ground. And you know what? Yet I'm going to get to that pull-up. Like, I have goals in my head, but if I say I can't do a pull-up, I'm going to believe that. And currently I can't, if you look at it that way, but I can't do a pull-up, yet. Gives me that inner push of, but I'm going to.
Yes. And it motivates you to keep going until you do.
Yeah.
This is what really makes me upset when we kind of tell certain people that you will never. And parents are bad about this. Teachers, 8th grade, are bad about this, of making such declarative statement. Oh, you're just a bad kid and you're never going to amount to anything. And it's like, what good does that do? It just basically lets those kids know, well, if they already believe that about me, there's nothing I can do to be redeemed. I've been thinking quite a bit, especially writing our book, quite a bit about my own childhood and some of the things that were said and the ways things were said. It's amazing how I became successful as an adult. But look how long it took. I was in my 40s before I found what I thought was success, because I was flailing in my 20s and 30s, wondering why I had no hope, why there was no yet to look forward to, because I wasn't given that opportunity. And I'm so loving. You're not even 30 yet, and you already get to understand this message, and you have such a long life to live in the power of yet. It's just, I'm happy for you. I lament a little bit of what I didn't get to do for decades. But here we are. You take the power of yet when it comes to you. When you open your eyes to this, you guys, it's going to change your life.
Yeah. And I'm so appreciative to you, Jimmy, of this yet. You know, when you and I first became friends, we had zero intention of doing anything. Maybe you did. I didn't see anything coming. I didn't see a podcast coming or a book coming. I didn't see any of this. It literally just started as us talking about fasting, and then that led to this, and then that led to this, and before we knew it, we were having these long 2-hour conversations about these deep topics just like this, the power of yet. And you know, I would tell you things that I wanted to do and I just hadn't got around to doing, and like, there was a lot of fear and a lot of emotions like pent up about it. Even looking back a year ago, maybe just over a year ago, when we started the podcast, how many times did you have to have the conversation with me of, calm down, it's okay, we got this, we can do this, you can do this? And like, even going back to episode 1 and watching how nervous I was, it's okay, we all have a first episode, right? If we believe in the power of yet and we actually do the thing, we all have a first episode.
Oh, trust me, the very first episode of the Living La Vida Low Carb show. Welcome to the what's this show called? Oh yeah, Living La Vida Low Carb. I was so nervous, and I fear that had I started in like 2022, where we are now, and that was my very first episode, I would never have any listeners. The good thing about my yet with that was nobody was watching or listening to podcasts at the time. And so I got to get good at it when nobody was listening. Now, if you come out, please be good when you come out, or people will lose interest fast. But yeah, I mean, that's a fine example. You know, I always wanted, when I was growing up, I always knew I was going to be behind the microphone doing something, because I would listen to disc jockeys on the radio and different people that would talk, and I go, wow, I just love how they pull you in. And I remember in my early 20s, I've never told you this story, I was listening to a Christian radio station, and I called in to the Christian radio station, and I was listening to a little bit of talk radio, same thing, and I would call in, and I'm like, I'm going to be a DJ someday.
Yeah.
Just not yet. And both of them were very encouraging. Yeah, work on your speak, work on your skills, work on how you talk, and just keep working at it, and good luck in your broadcasting career. Both of them kind of said that, and I would probably say something similar to people. Just work on it. Don't be timid about it. Just go and do it. Not yet, but when the time comes, you'll be ready. And they were right. And when I got behind the microphone at a Christian radio station in the mid to late 90s, okay, I was a little nervous, but I got a little better. And then started the podcast and got a little better and better. And now here I am, thousands upon thousands of podcasts later, extremely comfortable behind the microphone, now on camera, yet has been fulfilled.
Yeah, that's so cool. Like, listen to your story of yet, you know, and I even think about my childhood and some of the stories that you guys will read in the One Step Deeper journal, like some of the things that we tell there. It's like, it's so cool to watch what happened and watch what, like, yes, I got extremely low. Yes, I got extremely depressed. Yes, I had a lot of anxiety. Yes, I still deal with some of these things that you'll read about, but it's like, look at my yet story. How many times could I have stopped? How many times could I use those declarative sentences of, I'll never get out of this? Oh, my favorite one. I've even said it here. I can't tell you how many times when I lived in my small town that I heard, I'll never get out of here. I'll never get out of here. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck here. And people believe that. And they believe their asses to stay right where they were. And I just never was. I was never the person. Like, every once in a while, I would slip up and be like, I'm just stuck here. And I'm like, nope, I'm not stuck here. I'm just here. But I got somewhere that I'm going. And that was my power of yet. I'm getting the hell out of here. I don't want to be here. This is not the town for me. I understand that it is a great place for some people to live, and they love that kind of town. It wasn't for me. And so I'm stuck here for now. I'm trying to figure out how to get yet at the end of that sentence.
Well, people who deny yet in their lives are embracing inevitability, because if you don't stick yet in front of statements, you're basically saying that's the way it is. It's just inevitable. This is and it's never inevitable. This is the secret, guys. Yet opens up your world to what you think is unmovable and moves it.
Yes. And on that topic, like kind of along these same lines, this is something that has just been a theme in my life that's just keep coming up and coming up and coming up. So I've shared in my stories a little bit, and that's this mindset that we get stuck in, that we tell ourselves, and kind of goes back to the last episode that we recorded about narratives. And I guess the power of yet was a really good next episode to the narratives, because it gives you the ability to keep going. And so I love the setup here. I don't think we did that on purpose, but
we didn't do it on purpose. It was just like, in fact, when we did the narratives one, we did that one 8 weeks ago before we even left for the holiday break. And then I was like, because we were having the conversation where it was the comma yet, and I was like, that's our next episode. I didn't even think of the natural follow-up to the narrative, but that's true.
Hey, when you manifest stuff, it just happens, baby. It just happens. Something that I've heard over and over and over again is life is just out to get me.
Yeah.
I'm always going to struggle. I've always struggled, so I'm always going to struggle. Life is a struggle. These little sentences that I began to become more aware of and more observant, even myself. You know, Jimmy called me out this morning. I said I was struggling with something. He's like, you're not struggling with it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And you called me out on something that I said yesterday in about something in your life. You're like, listen, no, that's not what it is. I'm like, I love it. Please call me out when these little things come out. Because a lot of times we don't realize what we're saying. But something that I've heard a lot is, life's not fair. Life's out to get me. This one. I can never catch a break. Okay. When you're speaking that, you begin to believe it. And so then you look for reasons of why life is out to get you.
A lot of people ask me, Jimmy, how do you get such good deep sleep? Well, there's a lot of things that I do, but one of the newest things that I recently added is this upgraded magnesium from a company called Upgraded Formulas. Go to their website, upgradedformulas.com, and you can learn all about this nano technology that they use for this particular mineral of magnesium. Again, it's called Upgraded Magnesium, and it's got all the different forms of magnesium in it, using the nanotechnology so it gets absorbed a lot better. Guys, I have seen my deep sleep improve by as much as 30 to 40% simply by adding in this product along with sunshine exposure, darkness in the room, cooler temperature, all of the things that I always have done. So again, upgradedformulas.com is the website. Go check them out. The yesterday thing was you kept saying, I'm sorry, that's so hard. It's so hard. It's hard. So fucking stop saying it's hard, because that makes it hard.
Makes it hard, yeah.
And okay, from the outside looking in, it could appear that it is hard. But if I think that way, it never happens.
It never happens.
Because I think it solidly, this is hard. But if I say, I haven't been able to get what I want yet, then it's hopeful. You want to go from hard to hopeful.
Yes, absolutely. And that's it. Like, yet gives us the hope that we need to keep going. I can't help it. Marvel movies. I love my Marvel movies. You get to those moments where it's like, there seems like there's no hope. And then the new character walks in, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and it's kind of the same way when you add yet on the end of your sentence, on the end of your declarative sentence. I'm not there yet. I haven't done this yet, but I will get there. It's just like that character walking in from the portal, not saying any spoilers or anything. You're just like, oh my gosh, yay! and lightning and roars erupt from the theater.
Yeah, it's always fun in a movie when it gets to a scene like that, and then you hear everybody. It's a weird kind of communal experience to be in a movie like that.
Yes, but like, imagine that every time you say something and you catch yourself saying one of those declarative sentences that are negative, and you just go, wait, yet.
Yet. Yeah.
Yes, comma yet. And it's just like one of those moments where you just hear the people in the background just clapping. Or is that just me? Am I the only weirdo that there's people clapping in the background?
We need to make a character, the yet character, flying around, coming in, swooping in to save the day.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I can envision the cape and everything. Oh, yeah. Goodness.
Like Mighty Mouse, here I come to save the day.
Yes. I think about this currently where I am with my body, still frustrated from the surgery. And I think about the things that, and how many times have I told this story of I can't do that? Like running. I love running. And for a while I told myself I can't run. A narrative that I told myself. Again, this kind of does play into last week a lot. But when I empowered myself with the word yet, and I can't run yet, but I can walk, I began to believe it. And so now I run almost every day. And it was that power of, I'm in the yet now because I didn't give up. I did give up for a little bit, but not.
No, I would even reframe that. You didn't give up. It just wasn't time for yet to happen.
Yeah.
And you needed that time to heal. You needed that time to get in the right mindset so that when it was time, you would fully appreciate, you would fully be in the moment of that. Like your yet with this book we're working on. Had you come out with a book a few years ago, it would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been what this one's going to be. Guys, hold on to your seats. You don't know what's about to hit you with the One Step Deeper Journal, the foundations. I'm telling you, and I'm the hype guy, so I get it. I mark it. But listen, I have never been a part of a project like this one before. This is going to be my proudest book, and that's saying a lot because I've written some really damn good books. I was just thinking about this today. This is the best book I've ever written. And I got to do it with my best friend of all people.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm crying too.
No, seriously, guys. Like, I can't tell you how many times Jimmy will be like, oh my God, I'm reading this section. It's so good. And I'll be like, oh my God, I'm reading this section. It's so good. It's like I was telling him, like, we both read the parts, but I can't wait to get my hands on this book so I can walk through this journal. Like, I'm just like getting excited. And like sometimes when I go back and I read my sections to do a little editing or something, I'm like, wait a minute. Did I write that? Did I write that? Oh my God, I wrote that. That was good. Wow. Like, and same with Jimmy. I read some of his stuff and I'm like, who the hell? Thank you for that gut punch.
Well, and good. 2 years ago, neither one of us could have written this book. The comma yet was in full force. I had the ability to write, but I didn't have the experience / knowledge of this topic that I do now. And same with you. Like, you've been doing your personal development work for a little while, but look at all that's happened just since 2 years ago, that now that comma yet gave you the pause to now be here in 2022 for this very time. Unless you think this is a one and done book, guys, this is book one of what we hope will be a long series of One Step Deeper journals. The next one, as soon as this book is out, we're probably going to start working on the very next one, all about trauma. I'm still got the tears in my eyes because the yet is becoming reality, and it's kind of cool. And people aren't willing to wait. And I just, guys, please be willing to wait on something that is worth it. Don't wait. Don't put a yet on things that are banal, that don't matter. Put your comma yet in front of things that matter, in front of things that drive you, that are your passion. I can tell you this little lady has had a drive and a passion to want to help more people and to do the Brittany thing, which we're going to feature here in a few weeks. There's going to be an episode coming up where I'm going to be the guinea pig, and we're going to let Brittany do her thing that she does with people. And we're going to do it live on the air. It's going to be kind of fun because I'm her best friend and I know a lot of what she does, but it'll be fun in real time to kind of put that out. Stay tuned. In a few weeks, we'll have that for you. But yeah, I think the comma yet, if you're willing to embrace this and you're willing to go through that tough period of, I want it, but I know it's not time yet. I'm telling you, it's going to pay dividends for you on the back end.
I'm getting like really emotional because I can't help but like go through all of the instances in my life where I was in that waiting period, and it sucked and it hurt and it was painful, and it was just like, it felt like no. It felt, and yes, the truth is it feels like no. Every single corner.
It is no. It's no in the moment. And we all live in the moment. It's why I tell people, don't live in the moment. Live in the moment, but don't let everything about your life be about the moment. I learned, and some of it's my age, I'm 50 now, so some of it is as you get older, you learn, okay, things in the past doesn't really matter. Things now, things coming, yes. So yet is a things coming kind of mentality. And if you allow yourself to go there and not get caught up in, but I want it now. Yes, but it's going to mean more a year from now, 2 years from now. You know, I really would love to have a girl in my life now, but it's going to mean more when I find the right one and she's ready a year from now, 6 months from now, 1 month from now. I'm manifesting that. When it's down the road, but it's not right now. It would be very easy to just kind of fall into a pattern of, okay, it's good enough. No, good enough is not good enough. Good enough is settling and going after the things you want, even if it takes more time. That's what comma yet does.
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't have to just be some huge thing. It can be something small. Chris and I were just having a conversation. I don't know if I ever called him Chris on the podcast. Wildman is my husband and his name is Chris. On the way home from our mountain trip, for Christmas, we got to talking about a vehicle, and we got to talk about my dream vehicle, which I feel like we're so close to that point where I get to get my dream vehicle, but it's not yet. And it's going to be difficult to find it because it's kind of rare, but I want an orange. I want a bright burnt orange Jeep Cherokee with all the loaded stuff on it. And my dad paints cars for a living, so I want him to hook me up with an AU Auburn Tigers situation. Anyway, so it's been in my mind, and 3 or 4 years ago when we bought my car, I was so close to getting it then, and I didn't. And so we got to talking, like, we could probably go today and get something. And I was like, but I don't want something.
No.
I would rather wait another year or 2 years or 3 years, however long I need to. I would rather wait and get what I want than settle for less. And so maybe that's where you have to get to with yet is stop settling for yet. Stop settling for here where you are. Stop settling and wait for your yet. Keep going. Don't stop here. Okay, anyway.
She got a little worked up. Cold. A little worked up. She knocked her water over.
That's very cold on my lap. That's very cold. Okay, anyway. Yes, got very worked up. Don't settle for where you like. Be happy in the moment. Okay, yes. I think that's very important. Be happy and be satisfied. Don't be miserable. Don't wait for the destination. Don't wait for the yet. Be happy. Be happy where you are. Okay, we've had this conversation. Okay, if you listen to that podcast. But while you're waiting on your yet, don't settle here. Don't be like, well, this is good enough. No, keep going. Keep pushing.
They've actually done some experiments with kids, like very young kids, 3-4 years old, where they put them all in a room and they give them one M&M and they put it in front of them and they say, or one brownie or whatever, poison. Yeah. And they say, or a cupcake, let's say cupcake. It's easier to visualize. They have a cupcake, nice big frosting on top, it's beautiful, and they say, all right, here's your one cupcake. You can eat it now, and that's all you get. Yeah. But if you wait for half an hour, we'll bring you another one. Yeah. And you'll have two. And then when they bring the second one, they say the same thing. All right, you can have your cupcakes now, or if you wait 30 more minutes, half an hour, you will then have 4 cakes. And hardly any of the kids ever made it to 4.
That seems like torture.
And it's like it's because comma yet has not been taught in our culture. Comma yet, we are an instant gratification society. If I can't have it now, it's not worth having. Now, I grew up in an era where waiting for things and letting things kind of come to you somewhat was a little more appreciated than it is today. You've got 3 Munchkins very firmly in that young category. Was it 4, 7, and 9, right? The 3 ages. Yeah. So I guarantee you, if you did that experiment, would any of them get to 2, or would they all eat the 1? Would any of them wait?
I can see Cammie and Alma Grace getting to 2. I can't see any of them getting to 4. And Darcy would be like, I'm just gonna eat this now.
Yeah. Darcy's like, this is good enough. I don't need yet, Mom. Whatever lesson you're trying to teach us, your cockamamie one step deeper crap.
Yeah, Darcy she does not care, and she's been that way since she was an infant. She's like, I don't care about what you want, what you say. I just don't care. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna live in my own world. This is me. She's hilarious. But yeah, I would love to do some kind of experience like that experiment with my kids along that lines. And we've definitely taught. I mean, come on, guys. I'm the feel the feels lady. I'm the go one step deeper. I'm the emotions lady. My kids get all of this, okay? They get all of this. It was so sweet. It was in my stories a couple of days ago. I think before we went on vacation. Alma Grace was upset, and I wanted to record what it was like to talk her down through that. Yeah. It was so sweet to listen to her. She's like, I'm sad. And what word did she use? Oh, I can't remember what word she used. She used a word, and basically she was just talking about emotions. And I was like, yeah, it is hard. It's tough to go through that, just kind of validating her. And I'm pretty sure there was some yet involved in there where, come here, I'll hold you and calm down, and we'll whoosh off, and then we'll go on about our life. And so, yeah, it's just, there's so much possibility when it comes to yet. It just opened up all those doors and all that possibility. I used to use the word, and Wild Man hated it. Oh, he hated it so bad. When I'd say, I'm just stuck here. I'm stuck at this weight. I'm stuck in this house. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck. And he just gets so mad. He gets so mad. He's like, he got me good one day. He's like, oh, stuck? Yeah. So we're still living in Wagner? And I was like, shut up. He gets me too.
Yet definitely reminds you of how far you've come. Like, yeah. I hear you often, and I'm gonna call you as my friend.
Do it.
I have heard you since the being in the hospital of I'm not back to where I was before I went in the hospital, and I don't know if I'll ever get there again. And you've had your moments. Like, you're not there all the time. Most of the time, you're very much in the power of yet. And I love that. And I'm gonna take a little credit for that. But no, you would do that and get in those. And I would always try to be understanding and listening to you, because what you went through was horrific. I wouldn't wish what you went through on anybody, and the ramifications of it over 2 years now later. Like, you were in the hospital 2 years ago right now as people are watching this. And that's a lot. But like, look at what yet was in that moment, because you were wanting to die.
I was.
You had your dream come true at that moment, would not be here today.
Yeah.
And whether you knew it or not, you were willing yourself to a yet.
Yeah.
I'm not back yet, but bitches, look out. I'm coming. And here you are 2 years later. No, not the weight you want to be. No, not where you want to be in a lot of areas of your life. But hell yeah, as that wild man said, we ain't in Wagner anymore. We're in a beautiful house now, baby girl. I got my truck I wanted. Thank you for that. And you're gonna get your orange Auburn mobile coming up. Like, all of those things, they're giving you that hope to keep you going, so you don't get stuck in the malaise of your own thoughts. And this is something we do a lot on this show. We're going to do a real lot on the book. We're challenging your thought processes, guys. I think when you forget about yet, you fall back into old patterns really fast. And it's so easy if you had coping mechanisms with your trauma, if you just developed, this is just the way I think and everything. And then when somebody like tries to present you, why do you believe that way? Because I always have, and not because you really believe that. And so comma yet opens you up to, okay, there's more out there than what I'm allowing my head to think about right now.
Yes. And if you're going to continue, guys, if you're going to continue to listen to the One Step Deeper podcast, you have to be open to the power of yet. Because, Jimmy and I just had a couple of little quick 20 to 30 minute little powwows just talking about what's to come in this year, what we want to do, and some podcast topics. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the yet of what is coming. I'm really excited about all the things. And like, of course, the inside of me just wants to blurt it all out, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. But
you can tease one. What's one that's got you excited?
Can I say that one?
Which one?
Merch. Can I say that?
Yeah. Oh, you're not talking about episodes. Okay, because we talked about a lot of episode ideas too. But yes, we want to do some apparel that will let you show off some of the things we talk about. We got what was one of them, the feel the feels. Obviously, that's your thing.
Yeah, it was a little more vulgar than just feel the feels.
Yeah, I was trying to be clean for today, but feel your
brain noodles. The brain noodles one.
Brain noodles, yes. And of course, One Step Deeper as well. So yeah. So yeah, there's all kinds of yets yet to come. And the fun part about yet is it's a dream. When you say yet, it's casting, it's manifesting what it is you want. Like, I don't have a girlfriend yet. She's coming. And I wrote a post last year in my Instagram and on social media that says, all right, while I'm waiting on you, I'm going to work on me. And here's the things that I'm, dreaming about with you. And you're going to happen. I already see you in my mind's eye. She's walking through the kitchen and we're cooking together. Like, I put it out there and it's going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but yet hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah. And see, I live in that world. I know a lot of people look at manifestation and they might think, oh, that's woo-woo stuff. But like, I believe so strongly in the power of just saying it out loud. And just what I was saying earlier, like, if you don't believe in manifestation, that's okay. I mean, I think you're missing out, but like, that's okay. But what you repeatedly say to yourself, you believe. And so when you're manifesting stuff, and you're just repeating it over and over again, and you're already living in gratitude for something that hasn't come yet, but you're already living in gratitude for your yet. the power that is there when you live in gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet.
Look, yes, I love what you just said. All manifesting is just embracing this topic we're talking about here.
Yes.
All it is. Don't make it woo-woo. Don't make it weird, guys. And I know a lot of Christians get their panties in a bun when you talk about manifest. Well, God brings things about. Okay, well, God also is a part of this yet. If you're a Christian, if you pray about something and it hasn't happened yet, but you believe God's going to do it for you, right, Christians? And so this applies to you as well. Okay, so if you want to play that game, God has the ability to fulfill the yets in your life. And you have to be willing to listen to his voice and follow his will and all the things. I can tell you I've seen that firsthand in my life. And if you don't believe in God, that's cool. You can manifest it. You can bring it about, the universe, whatever you believe in, and yet still applies as well. This is such a universal concept that you don't have to have any particular belief system for it to come about. You just have to believe in yourself and believe that things are going to happen, and have that willingness to put that WAIT right there. God, we hate that 4-letter word, don't we? That should be a part of the pejoratives that are out there. Damn, fuck, shit, and wait.
Yes. Yeah, I don't like it either. Oh my grace is probably the best. That child, if I tell her, just wait a second for food, oh my gosh. Jimmy knows.
I've been on the phone with you. In fact, this morning, before we recorded, we talked for a couple of hours, and she wakes up, Mom, I'm hungry. You're like, all right, go get something to eat. But I want some hunger. Can you make me some food? Oh, okay, not yet. I'm still on the phone talking to Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. Well, I'll be there in a minute, okay? But if you need to go get something real quick, just grab something in the pantry. She comes back 5 minutes. Mom, I'm still hungry. Well, did you eat something? Yeah, but I'm still hungry. And it's, okay, but not yet. And yeah, she hasn't learned that finer point of waiting. And
Well, you know what? I will say she's 4 years old though, and so as a 4-year-old, that's developmentally normal. Whereas a 24-year-old, a 28-year-old, a 50-year-old, as you get older, you should have developed the ability to wait. I'm just saying. You would think that I'd had the ability to wait patiently, but I do not. I don't. I don't have it yet.
Well, again, culturally,
Yeah.
we're not encouraged to wait. We are not encouraged to apply the principle of yet. We are in a microwave society, and we have been for a while, where people, it's now. And if it doesn't happen now, people pitch a fit and they show out and they show their butt. And you used to be that way. You talked about 10 years ago. You're a very different person than you are now. And again, as you get older, you learn to just let those things just come. And so, yeah, I still love that you're learning and this lesson now, and you have so much of life. I still brag about you someday when your kids start having kids, and I go like, oh, let's go see the great Grandma Brittany, and she's going to share us with her wisdom and her 12 books that she's written. And
Cammy and I were talking about me being Granny Brittany, and I was like, I don't care at this point. I really don't. Call me what you want to. I'm glad I didn't need any notes.
Oh,
it's dripping.
That is funny. You do write it down, but most of what we talk about is just top of mind, and you glance down. Oh yeah, I was going to say that. Now it's like, right?
It's okay. I think we got through everything I'd written down.
Yes, yeah. So guys, just embrace what we're saying here today. This is not something that you need to fret about. It's not something that you need to, oh my gosh, I have to start putting yet in front of things. No, you don't. You're still in control of this process. And look, there's some things that aren't going to happen. So let yet go. They're just not going to happen. But be sure that you're sure that they're not going to happen, not just assume that they won't. I'm trying to think of a good example of something. Maybe you're in a broken relationship and you're trying to repair it, and well, it's not good yet, and so let me keep working on it. But you've worked on it and it's going nowhere. And we both have people in our lives who are in those kinds of relationships. There is no yet anymore. The yet's been tried, the yet has arrived, and we don't like what we see. It's time to move on.
Yes, yeah. Don't forget your boundaries along the way, guys. When you're applying the yet to relationships or things outside of yourself, make sure you apply your boundaries and that just seriously, because there are people, like Jimmy said, there are people that are in your life that they're not going to change. And if they do change, it's not on you to accept them in their change. Okay. This is podcast way back then. Okay. We won't get into that. Just go listen to those. But yeah, just be careful that you don't get yourself in a bind saying, oh, just not yet, not yet, not yet. Just sometimes, it's specifically speaking of relationships. And if you're in a relationship and you're like, well, not yet, I don't want to leave it yet, leave. And that's bold. That's very bold of me. But if you even have to think, oh, I don't want to leave them yet, you're already gone. Just leave, and that's my route. That's my tough love. That's my, we're running out of time, so I don't have time to go into deep into that. But seriously, if you're contemplating and there's a problem and you're just like waiting around for the yet, doesn't usually apply in relationships, guys. The power of yet doesn't usually apply in relationships.
Or we could go in the other direction of, well, I want to leave, but not yet because kids, because life circumstance, because need to get my financial house in order. There's so many things that can be thrown out there that I would until, but not yet. And so yet in that context paralyzes. And I've got friends in my life, people in my life that this lesson here applies directly to. I really hope they're watching, because I feel like we are paralyzed into inaction with some yets. The yets keep you from fulfilling what you need to do. And in your heart of hearts, you need to do it. You know that you're not being served very well. Let's face it, you're not happy. And while it may produce some moments of unhappiness in the process of finally making that decision, at the end of the day, you're going to be glad. On the other side of it, you're going to be so glad that you stopped letting yet paralyze you yet in that context. So yet can go both ways. I just wanted to get that in here towards the end, that yet is powerful in its positivity when it's something that's good, but when it's something that you need to do and need to do sooner than later, yet will stop you. It will handcuff you. It will drag you through the mud. You will feel like crap over and over and over and over because of your indecisiveness. And guys, like Brittany said, make that decision with those kinds of things. Don't wait for yet on that. That's what you're doing, and it's going to kill you in the process. Not literally, but it's going to rob you of joy and happiness and things in your life that you actually desire, so you can go pursue the other yets in your life. You can't pursue those good yets if a bad yet is holding you in a place where you're not being filled and fulfilled in all the ways.
I really wish we would have gotten into this before, right here at the end, but that's how this works.
We've got about 3 or 4 more minutes if you have something to say.
I'm just thinking about, somebody in my life who is stuck in a relationship because they believe that they are, and they're waiting for the yet in that relationship. They're waiting for the person to change. They're waiting for the person, but it's just like, dude, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, move the hell on. You are robbing yourself. You are paralyzing yourself waiting on something that will never come.
Yes.
And so, I guess on the opposite side of this, there is so much hope and power and yet, but it will also very easily rob you of your good yets. It will rob you when you're stuck. And I feel for the person. I love them deeply. I care for them, but I'm watching them spiral themselves into nothing.
Yeah.
Waiting for this to change, and it's not going to. It's not going to.
And the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And in this case, past behavior shows it ain't getting better. And
Yep.
that's true for a lot of situations. By the way, before we got on the air, you're like, so I looked up The Power of Yet in YouTube, and up came, and I want to play it now because it's so hilarious. This right here.
Boy, Emma will never get it right.
You tried to add, but the numbers came out wrong. You tried to sing, but you didn't know the whole song. You tried to cook, but the food, it didn't taste right. You tried to dunk, but you didn't get enough hype. You didn't do it right now, but keep trying, you learn how. You just didn't get it yet, but you'll get it soon, I bet. That's the power of a yet. Yet. That's the power of a yet. Yet. That is what you get with the power of a yet.
And so, what was that, from Sesame Street? Is that right?
Sesame Street, yeah.
I was like, adorable. We're going to end with that on the show today.
Yeah, I'm going to like run and go show the girls it now.
Yes. So, guys, episode 50, the immensely powerful idea of yet. I hope it wasn't too kind of out there esoteric for you to get. This has very practical application. And I think if we learn this lesson of the power of yet, it can change your life. And I hope you do like take to heart what we shared here today. And I love what came out here today, Brittany. So thank you so much. And take us home.
All right, onestepdeeperpodcast.com, guys, is the website. You can go there and check out all the past episodes. And over on YouTube, Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern. I know I've knocked it. Sorry about that.
Well, no, you went off screen, and I was like, I can't see you.
I had to move my leg. Yeah, so 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube is the first place that you can find all the episodes if you're just a super fan. If you're a super fan, you just want to catch it, and you want to be the first one to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You're in the Marvel. What are you doing? It's so distracting.
I distracted you. Keep going. Marvel.
Oh my goodness. Let's say you're a Marvel fan like me, and you want to be the first one to see the new movie. Then you're going to have to check that out on YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where you can find it first. We are on Facebook and Instagram. One Step Deeper Podcast is all you guys type in. You can find us wherever. Of course, we are your standard, typical podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to your audio podcast. Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, ALEXA. You can listen to us anywhere there. And lastly, guys, give us a review. We love y'all. We love hearing from you. You can send us private messages on Instagram, Living Low Carb Man, and I'm becoming Brittany Lee. You can send us private messages there, but leave us a review. Apple Podcast, you can leave us a review there. I'm not as familiar with Apple Podcasts. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm a Spotify girl, but yes.
I was going to say, and Spotify or ALEXA, a lot of people listen. The technology changes so fast, but Apple Podcasts, which used to be called iTunes, was the one that started it all. So I think that's why a lot of us pay homage to that one. And one last thing, gonna keep pushing it till it comes out. The One Step Deeper Journal, The Foundations, on your screen right now. If you're watching the video, if you're listening on the podcast, I promise you, when the time comes, you will be able to see where you can get that. We are so excited. Hopefully by the time this airs, we're already at the printer. But we have a little bit of work to do as of the recording of this to get this done. I'm trying not to freak out my co-host here, because yes, by the time this airs, we hopefully are at the printer or soon there of being at the printer. So thank you guys so much for being here this week. Really great episode, Brittany. And until next week, we got another great one coming for you. We'll see you then.
OneStepDeeperPodcast.com. Have you experienced the dreaded keto flu? Did you know that most of these symptoms are actually due to your body dumping excess electrolytes? This is where Element comes in. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing you don't. That means lots of salt with no sugar. Element is formulated to help anyone with their electrolyte needs and is perfectly suited to folks following a keto, low carb, or paleo diet. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, with none of the junk, no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, no fillers, no BS. Everyone needs electrolytes, especially those on low-carb diets, or if you practice intermittent or extended fasting, if you're physically active or sweat a lot. Add Element today and see how much better you feel and perform. Use the URL drinklmnt.com/Jimmy.